There it is. Finally, the finals of the third season of the Europa Chicken League. This time I decided to bring Scooter as my top hat. Got a strength of 170, which is pretty decent for today's standards. Turns out this Mr. Curinaire, what's his name? He was actually already training one of his own chickens to fully get his own strength back and his own abilities. And he asked me if Scooter were there to fight, but Scooter ain't trained yet, so I can't have him fight. So, up to the fights, there was standard banter before that, and well, we all know the rules. They were going through that stuff again. So, here are the fights about these two chickens. And it's a pretty good fight right there. This Noah feller chicken was doing pretty good, and then he was getting bitten by the other one, and then all of a sudden he got his strength back, and he just whooped the shit out of that other feller. Then the second fight, there's a Frosty against a Featherstorm. Turns out this Featherstorm thing was doing pretty good from the start, and he ain't gonna let go of nothing either. So from the start to the finish, that bird has just ruled the game and ruled the fight, and he wasn't gonna give up on it. So there we were. Fight number 2 were done. Then this feller Curinaire gave us all some kind of a talisman or something. I thought at first said a talisman. I don't wonder what the hell is a talisman. It was said to be talisman. So we got one of those. Every one of us that was present got as present, and kind of a little end show thingy instead of the dragon versus Kieran fights, whatever they came up with before. That was one of these special fights. So we all got one of these talismans. I have no idea how to work these things, but after that it was time to get back to the fighting. It was one of the transic birds versus that lemon thing. As Miss Rachel has for pretty strong birds, and she was that Seagrun versus lemon, and that Seagrun was taking charge of that lemon from the start, and she never gave up neither. So that was a pretty solid victory for that one. That was the next fight. They call her Lisa versus Dryad. Valoria, Lisa ran up, but it quickly looked like this Lisa wasn't going to get anywhere far. So their fight were going on, but Dryad never gave up the edge that they were having, and quickly settled the score. That was the next fight. Lethal Weapon was one of the chance chance holders for the victory of the entire league for this season, and they were up against Shadow, which is a pretty tight match, and the fight was going pretty. Could have gone both ways from the start and in the middle, but then in the end, Lethal Weapon just had the extra breath, and he just whooped a shit out of Shadow. The last fight was Grimgird versus Nugget. Nugget, I can say. So it was Nugget. Nugget never gave up. He was just not willing to give in or anything. So he fought for all he was worth. And it was worth quite a bit right there, because he whooped a shit out of Grimgirdy. That was fun. And then came the prize things. And without even having to fight, that bird Sky, I think her name was, she couldn't have reached second place anyway, so the owner, Terry, she decided to keep Sky out of the fighting for today. There was no chance of getting higher. So she got herself the bronze statue, third place. So that was pretty good. Without even having to fight, still having third place secured. Good average statistics for the entire season. So then, she thanked for it, took the statue, and went on back out. That was pretty good. A pretty solid game. It's a pretty solid victory. And a pretty solid third place right there for Sky. Uncontested third place. Bet that bird got herself some extra hay for today. And then she left the pen, I think. Maybe a little later, but she actually left the pen. And then this Kurunir, I don't know what his name is. He had to set out 3 silver-colored statues. It turns out this Miss Rachel from Transic had 2 birds. She actually looked to get her authorization from that Duke feller. Well, he told her she was going to get and take the prize because she did all the work. That was pretty nice of him. So, her for 2 birds, and then Deadly Squad with 1 of his birds. I took the 2nd place. 3 second places. That's pretty amazing right there. Pretty good score. So they took the prizes. But I gotta say, it was pretty cool to see that kind of stuff happen like that. Of course, Diddley Squad having 2nd place, but he's also the owner of Lethal Weapon, and that bird came 1st place. So with all that going on, he was not going anywhere when he got his silver statue. So he allowed Rachel to have 2 of the nicest statues that was available right there. And she took 2 nice ones. I think she took the 2 nicest ones out there. I don't think Diddley Squad cared much about that 2nd place, although it's a pretty decent score. And then that other fella, the mapper fella, he's actually the one that creates all them statues. And then it turns out that the gold statue was there for Diddley Squad right there, and that Kurunir feller, he had it. I'm amazed to find out that those 2 birds that he owns actually going into retirements. I had to applaud as well. That was pretty decent stuff right there. And then the silly game that they thought up of, a summons game. So Kurunir started out and he summoned a chicken. Well, they are chicken league, so I reckon he wouldn't have gotten nothing else but that type of bird. And then one by one he went out and started to ask people to start summoning creatures. The first one was a cow. Just look at it for yourself. There's a bunch of people, a bunch of stuff that came up. Everybody came in turn, and of course, go figure, the Duke got a broken one. He got a new one, and he got a bullfrog. And then there's cow. She got the or coo, or I don't know what she's called. She got a 34, which is the highest score at that time. And I'm gonna spoil the beans right there. She ain't getting nothing else. She's got the top score. And then of course this other fella summoned some great big monster right on top of me. So I had to summon something up. Turns out that I had to put it on my belt and concentrate on the thing. Crap. I got me a spider, big frost spider. I don't like spiders. Spiders should be in caves. So I quickly took off the belt and the spider disappeared. And then Miss Rachel got a panther. Not bad, and she was right. It is friendlier than the spider. So that's it, folks. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Catch y'all later.